Black Ops 4's gunplay is one of my favorite aspects about it. I genuinely love the gunplay because I like the increased time to kill. The way my friend described the gunplay in Black Ops 4 is that you don't die in 1 millisecond, you die in 2 milliseconds. It usually takes about 1 to 2 extra shots to kill compared to previous Call of Duty games. Some people seem to think that people take 15 bullets to kill, like it's Halo. That's not the case at all. People bring up the fact that it's 150 health, but that doesn't matter. The weapon damage scales. They could have kept it at 100 health and then just lowered the damage of guns and received the same TTK. It's not anything to do with the fact that there's a 50 at the other end of your 100. And then also rate of fire has to be taken into account as well. How much damage is a gun putting out per second? To balance weapons in FPS games, you have to have the high damage ones have lower RPMs to balance out their damage per second. They're still dealing more damage, but their wall of fire will have more gaps in it, so there you go. If you've played with an automatic Nerf gun or an airsoft gun or an actual weapon, then you know what I'm talking about. So why am I opening the first minute of the video this way? I took a break from playing Black Ops 4 because I was getting annoyed by it. I've already explained why, and tons of people have the same opinion I do, even YouTubers like Exclusive Ace who do hours of gameplay sessions and live streams, and they grind the game, they hand test things, they're really good, they play with friends that are also good, and they have the same opinion, which is basically fuck specialists, which I still think is, fuck specialists. But there's also a problem with the guns in this game, and this game is just incredibly easy to break. The match you're seeing here is an absolute unfair slaughter. It only gets a little bit weaker on my part later on because I just felt so bad about what I was doing to the enemy team and that they just were completely demoralized, and it just wasn't a challenge anymore. It wasn't really a competition. I was just waiting for the game to end. But currently, and you guys can correct me in the comment section below, and I'm not saying these are the only useful weapons, but in my opinion, the game is currently ruled by the Titan, the Spitfire, the Auger, and the Rampart. And then you combine certain perks and attachments and pieces of equipment and gear, and then you put on the specialists, and the game just feels pretty shitty, honestly. I want to say I had fun in this match, because my KD's pretty high, I'm doing well, conventionally, the conventional consideration of what I'm doing here is good, but boy howdy did it not feel like it. I had taken a break from Black Ops 4. I am not warmed up. Okay, I am not even close to being warmed up. And the only way I can describe what's going on here in this gameplay is that I just decided to break the game. My class consists of a Titan LMG with a thermal optic, extended mag 1 and 2, FMJ 1 and 2, body armor, and flak jacket. This is the class that I would pull out if I wanted to tell some tryhards to fuck off into a different lobby, because you just can't compete with the damage output of the Titan. And when I'm actually warmed up and I'm consistently playing Black Ops 4, the Titan in my hands is an absolute beast, but the thing is, I don't even need to be warmed up. It just feels like it's killing for me. And the amount of times I kill people around corners because of FMJ2 and I'm wallbanging them, it just feels wrong. And then I'm also playing as Zero in this gameplay, and boy fuck Zero, I mean good lord. One of the things I was telling my friend while we were playing this game is that even if they were able to get a UAV, I could just go sit in a corner, pull out this tablet, and turn their UAV against them. I mean, yeah, just a single rocket or a couple of rounds from my FMJ2 LMG would take out their UAV, but I can turn it against them. I don't even have to lift a finger, really. I just have to hold a button. I got more gameplay doing stupid shit, and you guys will see it later. I was in the endurance playlist with weapons like the Auger and the Rampart, just melting people faster than they can react. It just doesn't feel right. When you have high damage LMGs that are this accurate, when you have DMRs that require zero shot pacing, when you have SMGs that kill faster than a shotgun, and assault rifles that trail right behind in that department, not only does it make the game feel shitty, it makes all of the other weapons feel shitty. When the time to kill gets longer in a video game, players will spend more time trying to optimize their DPS, optimize their time to kill. You'll find people spending more time trying to make sure they're dealing the most amount of damage as fast as possible. And this is probably the biggest problem with Black Ops 4's time to kill. Because of the way several weapons in this game are set up, the time to kill is incredibly easy to abuse. Weapons like the KN and the Vapor or the MX9, they're not useless by any means, of course not. But against a good team of players that know what they're doing and know how to abuse the meta, I wouldn't want to be caught using them. Same goes for the GKS and even the ICR in some respect, although that gun's pretty versatile and holds its own. So really, the way to succeed at Black Ops 4 is to pick the specialist that will give you the most reward with the least amount of risk, which isn't hard to find. Make classes that optimize your DPS. So the Rampart with high caliber 1 and 2, the Spitfire, the Hades, the Titan, the Augur. I've already made an entire video about the Augur and how it requires 0 shot pacing, but how about the fact that the Titan doesn't require any recoil management? The one thing I'll give to the Rampart is it actually requires some management of recoil, but it used to require more, and then they made it more accurate. Making a gun like the Rampart able to be as accurate as it is, while also giving it high caliber 1 and 2 with its already pretty high damage output is ridiculous. That's something.
You cheated because of the streaks.
I cheated because I'm using the fucking tight. Look at this. Are you look at this garbage. It's and then like, oh hey bud. And then also you. And unless I want to suppress the assault rifle, I'm not touching the KN-57 because of the Rampart. At least Treyarch did one smart balancing thing by not giving every gun every attachment. Because if I could have rapid fire, quick draw, and a suppressor on the Rampart, oh my god. But there are so many combinations in this game that are so easily abused. Like, maybe shotguns aren't the most powerful thing in the game, but you put on certain attachments and they're almost uncounterable in close range. Fair enough. But then if you pair that with ability charge and Ajax, then you get to 9-bang people fairly consistently throughout a match and then clean them up before they can see you. No Call of Duty is perfectly balanced. That is the nature of hierarchies. In our society, in our planet, when you have multiple things, one thing will always top another. Meaning if you had an FPS game that had 30 guns in it, there will always be a gun that people gravitate towards because people will figure out which gun is dealing the most damage, has the most accuracy, has the fastest reload, is the most versatile, is the easiest to use, and honestly, you can't blame them. But hey Treyarch, don't worry. You can mediate this. If a gun is high damage, then make it high recoil. There you go. The Titan and the Augur and the Rampart with foregrip have no skill required to use in terms of recoil management for the amount of damage they're putting out. And when it comes to the Spitfire, I would say it's fairly balanced, but I think if you're gonna have an SMG that can kill me in close quarters as if it's a shotgun, give it the same drawbacks as a shotgun. Lower the amount of ammo you have in a magazine and lengthen the reload time. Because currently in the game, the Spitfire kills so much faster than any other SMG in close range, which is ideally the range you'd like to use an SMG. The SOG 9mm is also very good, but it just doesn't seem to kill me in the same amount of milliseconds as the Spitfire seems to do, but I could be wrong. I haven't been playing recently. I just know what weapons I need to go to if I want to abuse the meta, break the game, and get easy kills and win easy gunfights. And it's not as if every gun in this game is high DPS, low recoil. The reason people think that Modern Warfare 2 is balanced, because if everything's overpowered then nothing is because everything was a low recoil DPS machine. And if any gun slightly didn't fit that bill, then most people didn't use it, like the F2000 or the TAR-21, which are incredibly fast-killing, versatile, easy-to-use weapons, but not compared to the ACR, SCAR H, or M4 of that game. I always talk about assault rifles because they're the easiest weapons for me to talk about. It's mostly what I use, and they're usually the most versatile, so they always come up in my mind. So, to recap here, I'm not saying that the game is unbalanced and needs fixes. Nerf, buff. I'm not saying that. There are just certain rules that aren't being met in this game. DMRs that require 0 shot pacing, LMGs that require 0 recoil management, SMGs that outclass everything in close quarters, and hell, LMGs are so goddamn quick. You don't have to be a slow player to use LMGs in this game. Yes, it's not as optimal in close range, but they're more than usable. I'm okay with LMGs having high damage output. I'm okay with them having lots of ammo. I'm not okay with them having low recoil and the ability to be rushed with. I really don't like getting pushed by people using the Hades and the Titan as if they're using SMGs, but the game totally allows it. Is it as good as an assault rifle or SMG? No, but it's, again, more than usable. And by that I mean usable is just you could do it, whereas the LMGs in this game aren't gonna shit on your day if you try to be aggressive with them, because they're very good. Using LMGs with that kind of damage output should give you more drawbacks than they do in Black Ops 4. And also, we have to remember this game has a low flinch factor and armor. You could nerf the Titan and the Augur in a smart way by keeping them exactly the way they are, but increasing their flinch, so they're not good if people are landing their first shot on you. This means you'd have to either be more aggressive, which is not where they excel, or a lot less aggressive and more passive, which is how you should be playing with something like the Augur or the Titan. The thing is, I don't like high flinch in my shooters, but I also don't like such a low flinch value that when someone's staring me down with a high damage per second DMR that requires 0 shot pacing, even if I start getting hit markers, they will still have no trouble killing me. Guns like the Augur make the SDM useless. Guns like the Titan feel like they make the Paladin useless. And these are fundamental, rudimentary things I think anybody who's developing an FPS game should notice. And I'm not going to get into every single weapon, attachment, perk, specialist combination that can further optimize how annoying you're being to your enemies. But what I'm saying is that these are things that are simple. There is no reason for there to be no flinch, no recoil, high damage LMGs in a Call of Duty game, or DMRs that require no shot pacing, or SMGs that completely negate the longer time to kill. And then couple this with the specialist abilities and weapons in the game, and you have a game that's incredibly easy to break. Thank you guys so much for watching. For whatever reason, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you when I see you. Goodbye.
Okay, so how does that work? 3 bullets into his chest with the Mozu, no kill. Oh, let's hack this RCXD, come on. Don't blow up, don't blow up. Hacked RCXD, get out of here.
Damn. They're actually starting to counter us pretty well. Like, at least for me, like,
Oh my god, 71 kills? Jesus, dude.
72. It would have been 73, but I'm all sloppy now. Wow, my brain just turned off in the last round because I was just like...
You literally have double my kills.
At least you got to play the game. Ooh. That's brutal. Crop duster.
And then I ran out of ammo, so I had to run away.
Man, I tell you.